Hello and welcome. My name is Grace and this is my channel. It's been a while. It's been a bit of a while, right? Okay, well here, there was a little bit of filler since my last video. There was some food. I shared my tarot collection. And so today I'm going to do a little bit of it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. I guess I could call it a mixed bag. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. Oh my God, already I need a sip of coffee. I don't know what to tell you. The lighting is the best that I could do at the moment. It's what it is. Let me see if I could just, oh my God. All right. Can you see? I just want to make sure you'll be able to see stuff that I show you. Okay, let's start with the card I drew just now. Is I looked for inspiration for my video, and I drew this one, and it reads, "From here on, it's nothing but a downhill run." Okay. Those of you who have this deck recognize it. This is, oh, it's on the floor. Okay. It's the Morgan's Tarot, which is really not a tarot. It's, this thing dates back to 1970. I originally got it because I had seen a video and it reminded me, like, I had seen someone's video. I'm sorry, I have to pick it up. I'm weird that way. Sorry. I would have been thinking about it the whole time. Anyway. I had seen someone's video featuring, might have been, I think it was a vintage one, which is purple ink instead of black ink. And I recognized it from my childhood. And oh, I love this one as well. Death, rebirth. I recognized it from my childhood as something that I probably saw at a garage sale or in someone's belongings. I don't know. I may have even had the original because I'm born in '68, and I was my parents were a little older when they had me, like for that generation, right? They were in their 30s when they had me. So I was that half-step generation, meaning I got all the hand-me-downs from cousins and family friends and all that stuff, which was cool. If you were into hand-me-downs, which I totally was. Oh, I've always been a hand-me-downs kind of girl, and that also led to my love of thrifting and vintage. And anyway, I'm retreading old ground. I'm sorry, but here we are. Morgan's Tarot. So I drew this card for inspiration. From here on, it's nothing but a downhill run. I dropped a little white book. Okay. All right. That's enough. My last video, I shared my tarot collection. And my tarot collection is literally that, because actually filming that, recording that gave me some clarity. I looked at the decks, the tarot decks that I kept, and because I was presenting them to you, it gave me an opportunity to look at them objectively and view them kind of like a third person point of view kind of thing. I did mention I have a purgatory box, and at the time of recording that video, just a couple of days ago, I had taken all my tarot decks out, including the ones in the purgatory box. So for those of you who requested to know what's in my purgatory box, and I'm just going to stick to tarot because oracle is an entirely different subject matter. Oracle is an entirely different experience for me. So we'll stick to the tarot. What's in my purgatory box? Well, there's two tarot decks I did not share that day because they were firmly in the purgatory box. And the first one is the Herbal Tarot. I go back and forth on this one. This one I try to get rid of this. I try to get rid of it. Anyway, I try to get rid of this probably every time I do a call. I swear to you, I'm pretty sure that probably the main reason it survives a cull is the box, the fact that it's a vintage one, the color on the box, which I just love this box versus the new one, and the way the cards feel. 1980s, 1990s, you know, the first smooth, kind of waxy kind of cards that feel really nice in your hand, that shuffle nicely. The reason why I keep wanting to get rid of it is because I have mixed feelings about it. I'm not crazy about the art style. I'm not crazy about it being, it's kind of Rider Waite, but not. It's kind of Rider Waite, but I'm sorry, I received a text. It's been a while, people. Okay, so it's kind of Rider Waite, but not. It's kind of it's a little pagan, but not, because it has Pan instead of the devil. And yeah, here we are. So there's lots of mustaches, but you know what? So does my Morgan Greer. All right, I know this is like not the best. This is not the best lighting to show you cards. Anyway. So this one's firmly in the purgatory box. But most likely because I'm going to go dig it out in a few months anyway, because when I'm in the mood for the packaging and the way the cardstock feels. I have the... See, thanks to Mixtress Ray, I reorganized my space. Everything's within reach. I love you, Mixtress Ray. I really do. All right. So this is the guidebook that goes with this guy. I have the guidebook. You have to buy it separately nowadays. Well, even then, like, then, whatever. Purgatory. It lives in purgatory. Which brings me to an interesting point I want to make. Every now and then someone pops onto my channel and says, are you Catholic? Well, it's not a Catholic channel, so does it matter if I am or I'm not? So I've already covered that ground, so I'm not going to cover it again. However, I will say this. Yeah, my language, purgatory box is purgatory is a very Catholic term. And I'm Italian. People. I was raised Catholic. But I've mentioned on many occasions that I left the church when I was 12. And this is not the time or place for me to discuss why. So I just wanted to bring that up. I just find it funny that every now and then there's someone who drifts by and needs to know if I'm Catholic or not. Well, make up your own mind. Look at the content of my channel. Next. What else is in my purgatory box? Another deck I didn't share that lives in my purgatory box because I have mixed feelings about it, pretty much like the Herbal Tarot, but this one's a little bit different. Back in the 90s, when I discovered, in the late 90s, when I discovered there were more tarot decks other than my Rider Tarot. There was one that caught my eye at Mélange Magique in Montreal, and it was Tarot of a Moon Garden. Now this copy right here is from the 90s. I had my original, the original I bought Mélange Magique in the late 90s. That's like long gone. Like I got rid of that one like 20 years ago, maybe even more. I had another one recently, just a couple of years ago, that I traded for. I purchased on the internet from another tarot tuber, and that one just didn't feel right. Sometimes I've had a few occasions where I'll buy a used deck and it just doesn't feel right. It's not a question. It's not a judgment on someone else's energy. Sometimes it's just not the right one. Whatever. And yeah, I know about the cleansing decks and all this stuff. Come on, they're pieces of cardboard, people. But they're not. So yeah, I do know about cleansing decks and all that. So please don't witch-splain to me. I'm not in the mood. Anyway, Tarot of a Moon Garden. This lives in the bag that I had originally purchased for mine from like 20-something years ago. Look how beautiful this is. Look at the moons. It's satin-lined box. Anyway, people, they don't make them like this anymore. And if you're out there and you were the person who made these and sold them on eWitch, I love you. I still have my 2 bags. All right. Back to Tarot of a Moon Garden. This is so 90s, okay? Like if someone were to say, what did the 1990s look like? Especially like the late 90s. What did they look like? They looked freaking, the late 1990s looked like it was trying to be psychedelic 60s. And I'm sorry that I'm trying to, let me see. No, that's a shit, huh? Yeah, sorry. There's people who have this deck. You look for a flip through. So this one, and here's my segue into what I forgot to talk about. I mentioned it in my last video, but then I never got to it. Boxes. When I purchased this one off eBay from someone in my own province. And it came with the original box, which blew my mind. It had the price ticket of the Omega Center in Toronto. It had 1990, I want to say it said 95 or 97 on it, which would have been around the time that I would have gone to the Omega Center in Toronto. Anyways, it was a whole moment, people. It was a whole moment. But I threw the box out. I'm going to use this to segue into boxes and stuff like that before I forget, because I forgot to mention it and I said I was going to talk about it in my last video. The best thing I ever did to kill the noise was, of the decks I know I was going to keep, to get rid of the boxes. Okay, now, I did end up recycling a bunch of retail boxes of decks that I then, gave away or whatever, or got rid of. But that's fine. I just tell people I don't have the box anymore. Do you want this deck? If I donate them, who knows? Who cares? They're in a Ziploc bag. They're safe. I make sure to put the guidebook and the deck in a Ziploc bag, and they go together to be donated. My daughter, I should have followed my daughter's lead. My daughter, my eldest, one day she came upstairs with a box full of empty boxes, and I went like, because I was that person that even if I took the deck out of the box and made a bag for it or got another box for it, whatever the case is, I used to keep the box. I used to have a box of boxes. The most liberating thing, aside from culling most of my tarot collection, whatever the hell you want to call it, was getting rid of the freaking boxes, people. So I thank my daughter, who I should have followed her lead. I thank my friend who said, no, you need to get rid of those boxes. And I did. And that's why I don't have the box to this one, to show you, oh, look, isn't it cool? It's from the 90s. Anyway, why does it live in my purgatory box? Because I have mixed feelings about that time in my life. I have mixed feelings about the artwork. The Fool is a three-legged clown that creeps the fuck out of me. Excuse my language, but if you've been watching me for a hot minute, you know, sometimes it slips out. It's a Pip. This deck is a Pip deck. It's mostly border. And if you, the actual image in the center, again, like, it's very Pippish, if you want to call it Pippish. I have mixed feelings about it. It's in my purgatory box because I don't read with it often. But sometimes I crave it. So what I'm trying to say maybe is that my purgatory box, it doesn't mean that it's a deck that's going to go away. But I think the purgatory box keeps these decks safe from me impulsively getting rid of them. The next two you met in my other video, in my tarot collection video. Dame Darcy's Mermaid Tarot. Okay, the color palette drives me crazy. I'm originally from the East Coast. I was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I grew up in Montreal. In the summers, I would go and stay with my dad in Connecticut. He eventually moved to Middletown. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, the color palette it's summer for me. It's summer in New England. The artwork, I love it. I love the artwork. Why does it live in my purgatory box? This deck, I have a love-hate relationship with it. This is my stalker card in this deck. This is I just cut it in half. Here we are. I have a love-hate relationship with this deck. I find, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't like me. Have you ever, please, in the comments down below. I know, you're going to say, oh my God, Grace, come on. They're not people. Really? Because I did a video about the people in my tarot decks. And I feel like Adamant here. I feel like Adamant judges me. Look at him. Can you see him? It's totally Adamant. If you're my age, you know, or older even, you know who Adamant is. I don't know. But I freaking love it. And look, here's a theme, right? Here's a theme right here, people. I made a bag for it. And look, it's ocean. It's ocean. I made it with, like, you know, yarn scraps. So it lives in my purgatory box because I don't use it a lot. But I would miss it if it was gone. I have two more, and then, well, you know, I guess I'll just do the rest in a different video, I guess, since I started talking about purgatory box. Oh yeah, Morgan's Tarot lives in my purgatory box as well. Because I think it needs to, I think I need to personalize it a little bit. I think it needs a different box. Purple's not my favorite color, so I find the box off-putting. Tarot the Magical Forest lives in my purgatory box. Look at it. It's adorable, right? Why does it live in my purgatory box? I was really ill. Really, really ill. Okay, like it was touch and go. December 2019, January 2020. And this was the deck that I read for comfort. And this was the deck that every reading was saying, okay, stop pretending that you're fine because you're really sick. So these faces giving me the side eye. This guy, oh, this was the guy. These friends giving me the side eye. I don't want to get rid of them, but it's not a deck that I probably will use to read for anyone. And I'm not really reading for myself with it. I did use it a little bit, I think in September. I think I used it in the month of September. It was in my purse, and I used it at work just for daily draw and stuff like that. And I have one more. She-wolf. I mentioned this one in my previous video. She-wolf lives in my purgatory box. All right, this is like the first edition. The current edition, from what I understand, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not gonna buy it because I'm on a deck buying moratorium. It's got to be like, I'm not buying stuff just out of curiosity anymore. I received this as a gift last year, probably a little over a year ago. And look, the color palette is totally my thing. Dusty, like dusty pastels, grayed out pastels. Devony Amber Wolf is a Montreal artist. This, let me show you the box here. Where the road ends, the journey begins. Ancient pathways are known by the future self. Your odyssey awaits amidst dunes of self-love. Sands of time do not bury our universal truth. Come now and find, beautiful seeker. The eternal ones are here to guide you and unfold your infinite awakening. There's a little typo in there, odyssey, whatever. It is. Okay. Beautiful, right? I mentioned in my other video, the production value of this is incredible. Look, now I don't know if you can, from the poor lighting and like, you know, the low res here and the clip joint video studio, like clip joint studio production, but I use this a lot. I have used it a lot. And the gilding's not even chipped, like nowhere. Nowhere is it, like it's gilding looks brand new. The box, I smooshed a corner because I dropped it. But otherwise, like, for something that I've been handling since I got it. This is the guidebook. So, Devony Amber Wolf knows her tarot. Okay? She is, without a doubt, tarot log. She is... I think it's Mark Twain who said that you could tell how much someone knows a subject if they can explain it to a 6-year-old. Okay. This guidebook is incredible. Okay, this is the 2017 one. She's also the creator of the Serpent Fire Tarot. And like I said, there's a current She-wolf. She-wolf went through, I think it went through an upgrade or a glow up or whatever you want to call it, where now it has diversity in it, diversity of race and body sizes and body types and all that stuff. I had the first one, and warning, there's a lot of nudity in it. I have to say, because I'm a registered nurse and I've been a nurse for a very long time, sometimes when there's a lot of nudity in a deck, it kind of feels like work. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like I'm at work. It feels, at the hospital especially, which I haven't worked in a hospital in like, last time I worked in a hospital was like 10 years ago, was teaching. It wasn't even a staff. But anyway. So, warning, nudity. But it's out of focus, so it's okay. It lives in my purgatory box. Oh no, let me explain why. The guidebook is freaking brilliant, okay? I pull one card, I look it up in the guidebook, and it blows my mind every freaking time. Every freaking time. But it is not a deck I could throw down and do my zodiac spread. 12 cards, because a lot, well, this one, okay. This one's kind of like is that Three of Cups? Three of Cups, all right. 3 feminine figures. Ace of Wands. I love the Eight of Pentacles, but I'm not quite sure. Like, I wouldn't, if I didn't know tarot, like if I wasn't an experienced reader, I wouldn't know what to make of this. It looks freaking cool though, right? So it's a beautiful objet d'art. These are the backs. It's a beautiful objet d'art. I've gone back and forth about whether I was going to sell it, rehome it, whatever. And I just decided it's going to live in my purgatory box. And I will just fish it out whenever I'm in the mood for it. And like I said, the only reason it lives, it would be perfect if the art spoke to me. And I'm thinking, you know what, maybe, and that's another reason I hang on to it, maybe the art will speak to me at some point. So that's the purgatory, that's what's in my purgatory box, tarot edition. And Morgan's Tarot was just thrown in there because it's got tarot in the title. My previous video I said that anything with tarot in the title, even though I don't use them as tarot, like Daughters of the Moon, they're gigantic, and I don't really do a 12 card spread with it. The meanings of the interpretations of the meanings of the cards is a little different than what I'm used to, so that's more of an oracle for me. But it's called Daughters of the Moon Tarot, so that's why it was in that video. Okay. All right, I'm going to cut here. This was what are the contents of my purgatory box. And I'll see you in the next video.